Victory to love, the love inside your heart. Victory to the light that shines in your mind. Earth, sky, and stars, 10,000 stars.
Namaste. Hi, welcome to the Shaman The Mermaid. This is your astrological report for October 9th through November 5th. And this is a potent one, yogis. There's a lot going on in the astrology world, particularly around Venus, eclipses, full moons, and energies going from retrograde to direct and direct to retrograde. And right behind us is Lakshmi, and she, in the Vedic tradition, relates to Venus. And Venus being a potent player in here, we found our mantra relating to a Venus theme, which was spoken to us while camping.
By a wise old owl. We literally came across a great horned owl on our walk, and it was maybe 15 feet away from us on a low branch, staring us right in the eye. And I feel like this is what Al said to us: surrender to change and stay true to love. And that seems to be a really timely message for this particular astrology report. As Michael said, Venus is a big player, so the stay true to love part is in there. And then we're also going to be entering into Scorpio season, and there's a lot of change around when you enter Scorpio. It likes the death of things, it likes to merge with things, and so the surrender to change is a boon for us to follow along the wise words of the owl, because we'll have the path of least resistance if we do this. So we'll break this down a little bit more. On the full moon that kicks off this report, the Aries full moon, there's potential for a lot of sensitivities because the moon is also nestled up right next to Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And so the moon is already pulling on our emotional body, and the moon represents our inner feelings itself. And then right next to Chiron, it's like a double whammy of let's look at how our feelings are right now. And things can be very sensitive because we're in this very raw, vulnerable place of exposure and illumination to our feelings. So be aware that you could be extra sensitive this time. And also, though, step into that brave territory of looking at some of our wounds and some of those hurt feelings and allowing for that full moon luminosity to show us some things that maybe we haven't wanted to look at or have been afraid to look at. This is the spooky season, and the portal is opening, and we have some literal portals that will be in this report, starting with the eclipse season that'll kick off at the end of the report with our lunar eclipse on November 5th. It's lunar, right?
Lunar eclipse and also partial solar eclipse on October 25th.
Oh, on the new moon, the Scorpio new moon. So spooky portals right there. And, this portal time is powerful for us to use it and harness it in the right way. It gives us an opportunity to let go, surrender to change, but also let go of the things that we know have been albatrosses in our life that have been really holding us back, unbuckle the shackles and free ourselves a little bit and allow for that to go through the portal. And when we say spa, when we release that kind of energy. So we'll cruise along. This is the full moon Aries report on October 9th, and then what?
Well, basically right now the Sun, Venus, and Mercury are all traveling very close to each other. So whatever the Sun is doing, Venus and Mercury will also be doing shortly thereafter. And this is a very potent time because Venus and the Earth do this magical dance over the course of 8 years where they create a 5-pointed star in the sky. You can see a picture of it here. And it also is a ratio of 5 to 8. There's 5 Earth years to 8 Venus years during this time, and that's the golden spiral, 5 to 8. And they make this 5-pointed star in the sky. And October 22nd is one of those magical star points. It's also a huge one because it's the first time in 108 years that Venus is leaving the sign of Libra and entering a star point into Scorpio. It's right on the edge. And Venus star points are magical, mystical points of transformation, initiation, change. If you know how to find them and you look back into your birth chart when you were born, you can see where the previous 5 points are. And often, one of our teacher, Julia Simas, who's pointed this out to us, you'll find major life events happen very close to those points: marriages, deaths, transformations, etc. So that October 22nd part is powerful, and Venus will go exactly in front of the sun that day. That's also part of the Venus star point. She transits right in front of the face of the sun, so if you're a star watcher with a telescope, you can see it.
And this is part of the theme of surrender to change, but stay true to love. Venus is never failing on her path. She completes the sacred geometry in 108 years from the last time she moved one. She's slow moving on it, but she's true to it. And she's giving us a message about the importance and power of love, and that this is a core essence of our being. We are all made of love. That's a part of our anatomy, so to speak, a spiritual anatomy, and a big part of it. And when we hold true to it, it's like following true north with a compass. When we stay true to love, our path opens and unfolds before us because it's a guiding light. And she's been a guiding light. She's morning star to evening star. And so we feel this is a message from Wise Old Owl, again, that not only do we need to surrender to the changes that are coming, let things go through the portal, but stay true to our self, our true self, which is our love. And then a bunch of other little things. There's actually so many aspects for this report that it would be tedious for us to go through all of them, but we want to name off some major ones. Some planets are shifting from sign to sign, and Saturn is going to go direct, which is a big, powerful influence, and then Venus will move into Scorpio, as well as the Sun. The Sun will move into Scorpio on October 23rd, and Venus on the same day. So there's big energy moving into that sign of death and transformation as well. And sometimes this can rock our world, where we feel this is too daunting or too fearful. A lot of people really have a big problem with change because they're creatures of comfort, and change represents to them an unknown, which can be very scary. And the message at this time is to just surrender to it and not to worry that the path unfolds when we let go of clinging to what has been so familiar and allow for this new flow of energy to move in. And of course, as we come towards the end of the month, we hit Samhain and All Hallows Eve and All Souls, All Saints Day, Dia de los Muertos. This is a big portal time as well. It's believed that our ancestors can travel through this opening between the veils and leave us messages or guidance or inspiration or encouragement. And so just let ourselves be a little bit more attuned to what does come through the veil. I feel with Mercury moving into Libra, that's an opportunity for connection and communication in these relationships with other, even if they're on the other side of the veil. So set out your altar for your past loved ones and put out their favorite things that they like. This is an invitation for them to come through. And then put on your ears that listen to the deep matters of the heart. And that's where they'll come through, is through your heart place. And this is, again, to stay true to love and stay true to that place that offers us this wisdom. So lots going on. More to say about Scorpio or the Samhain time or portals and eclipses?
A little bit about both of those. The partial solar eclipse, which will be on the new moon, the Scorpio new moon of October 25th, is a big energy because it's opposite Uranus and opposite the North Node. And that eclipse is happening on the South Node. Things that need to change: Scorpio, transformation, death. And it's trying to bring things into resolution so that we can go with the change and flow and surrender what needs to die and go and stay true to what is truth. And so this is a time of cutting away things that just need to go on that partial eclipse. And then the other two things I would like to mention is that Jupiter is still retrograding and entering back into Pisces. That is a huge energy shift out of Aries. Mm-hmm. And Pisces is the mystical, spiritual opening of the heart. And so this is a re-investigation of the portal back into your heart area.
Jupiter used to have home base in Pisces, so it's familiar territory and comfortable there, and allows for expansion of our consciousness in a big way. So that is a big one to bring in. So key days is the October 23rd, Sun moving in and Venus moving into Scorpio, and then just a couple days later, the new moon in Scorpio, and that partial solar eclipse kicking off eclipse season. Good time for ceremony within those days, 23, 24, 25, setting intention, maybe hone in on the message that we're trying to put out of surrender to change, stay true to love, whatever that means to you, maybe put that into your intention. What do you need to hold to a little bit stronger that maybe you've been waiting on? And what can you really let go of that is holding you back so that you can surrender to the change? And then that final lunar eclipse during this report on November 5th. And that's another opportunity to kind of follow up 2 weeks later from the first eclipse and then continue with your intention of following through, making sure that we have sealed the deal of letting go of some of the things that we're clinging to. You know, this is one of the main kleshas that we learn in the Yoga Sutras, that the clinging to attachments and clinging to life is a big obstacle in living a full life. And I think this is a powerful time to really take a look at what we're clinging to and see if we can cut some of those cords and allow yourself to commune with the ancestors.
And listen to the owls.
And listen to the owls. All right, I think that's all we have for this one, and we'll see you on that lunar eclipse, November 5th. And we're looking forward to the next one.
Namaste.
Victory to love, the love inside your heart. Victory to the light that shines in your mind. Earth, sky and stars, 10,000 suns shine within us all. Give praise to the one. Victory to love, the love inside your heart. Victory to the light